I'm an activist, I'm a writer, and I contribute a lot on political issues, so I'm a political analyst, so to speak. Stealing, as it is right now, is what has been happening under the Buhari dictatorship for a long time. And what has happened right now also explains itself about the priorities of the Buhari dictatorship. This is not the first time that strike like this happening in Nigeria. We had the doctors strike the last time, and on the day that the doctors embarked on that strike, that was the day that Dictator Buhari traveled to London for treatment. You can see the irony. And so right now we have the issue of the ASU strike, and they don't care about these things because they have their children in foreign universities where they are schooling. And so one person stealing the kind of money, about 170 billion so far, and there's every possibility, according to the EFCC, that they're going to uncover more of the loot. And so he's been released on bail. And don't be surprised that that is all that you will hear about this this particular matter. The Dictator Buhari has come to corrupt. There has been corruption in Nigeria, and he came to power under false pretense to fight corruption. But his regime, his dictatorship, has turned out to be the most corrupt ever that we've had under the democracy, so-called, since 1999. And people steal with absolute impunity because they realize that nothing will happen. Right now, we talk about the accountant general who has stolen so much money, and don't be surprised that he might as well resume office. We have been told that he's been suspended. But when you want to fight corruption in reality, when you are serious about fighting corruption, we will see it. Buhari is not ready to fight corruption. You can't just pick somebody up and then a few days later you release the person. After that, what next? We've had a series of arrests in recent times, but we have not seen anything beyond this arrest. So the question now is, what exactly is Dictator Buhari and his anti-people regime going to do about this? So it is just the same thing. The regime has less than 1 year to leave office, and they've been running around since 2015 claiming to fight corruption, yet we've not seen anybody that has been prosecuted, that has been prosecuted and jailed. Even O.G. Zokalo, who was sent to prison the last time, we all know where he is right now. So don't expect anything from the issue of the accountant general, because the Buhari regime itself tolerates corruption, causes corruption, encourages corruption. And so when you steal, it's a welcome development under the Buhari tyranny. The entire political process has been monetized, has been, made to recycle the same thieves who have been in power for a very long time. All of them bought the form. Every one of them, bought these forms to contest. It was never a problem. How much is the salary of, say, official salary of a minister to have purchased a form of 100 million naira? Then, how much, the total, how much is the total amount of money he earned for, let's say, 4 years, that he could so comfortably, or they could so comfortably purchase a form of 100 million? Anybody buying a form of 100 million, it means that this person has billions. Because obviously most of them know that they can't win an election. They can't even win, a ward in a presidential election. So they contribute this money to the party so that the APC, which is in power right now, don't come up. It's a contribution. It's a contribution. So, it is outright corruption, and Nigerians must. We had during the NSAS, we agreed at the time. I was part of the people who protested peacefully in Lagos until the Buhari tyranny came and did what he did, killing the comrades at the Lekki toll gate. So it was agreed that going forward, political criminals of all sorts should never be voted for into any office, because they were and are still responsible for the pervasive poverty, hardship that is going on in Nigeria. People buying forms of 100 million. Let me tell you, poverty has been weaponized in Nigeria. Illiteracy has been weaponized in Nigeria, because when people are comfortable and they have money and they are educated, you cannot easily manipulate them. And so the political class wants an illiterate, ignorant, poor population that they can easily manipulate on election day. That is why, so at that time we agreed that no political criminal should be voted into office. And I remember on one of those protests, on one of those days, when somebody came up the podium at the Lekki toll gate and said that even the crowd here and Abuja and other cities who could form a political party, it was said there. But right now, if you go on social media, they are still talking about people like Atiku, who stole so much money and are still enjoying the money. Insurgency in Nigeria is placed the lack of leadership, the so-called leadership under Dictator Buhari lacks the political will to fight terrorism. They call them bandits. They're not bandits. These guys who commit these crimes are terrorists. But somehow, the Buhari tyranny, the Buhari dictatorship has been able to manipulate the media. I don't know how they did it, but they've been able to manipulate the media to tag these guys bandits. They're not bandits. And the Buhari regime is not interested in fighting terrorism. Otherwise, how do you kidnap people, demand ransoms? They even have ways of communicating. They post on the internet, boast about their crime. How do they do that? At a time when we say that we have this NIN, is it that the regime cannot use technology to arrest these guys? Yet, they were able to use the same technology to trace, or that they were able to use intelligence to trace Nnamdi Kanu to Kenya, where he was abducted. They were able to trace Sunday Igboho and other people. So arrests are selective under the Buhari tyranny, and terrorism continues to thrive because most of these people know that they have the backing of the Buhari tyranny. We heard the comments of the Reverend Father, who was recently released from the den of the terrorists, and he said that the guys said that they will kidnap enough people, get enough money, and then buy arms. And first of all, how do they get these arms into Nigeria? These arms are being imported to the country, and some people in our borders, sea borders and land borders and all that, get these weapons into the hands of these people, because I don't believe that they manufacture weapons on their own. And so how do these guys get these weapons? They have money now because the regime allows them to kidnap people and in exchange for ransom. So how are they able to get guns, all kinds of weapons, to operate so successfully on our land? So my conclusion is that the Buhari dictatorship, which came to power under the pretext to fight corruption and to exterminate terrorism, now condones these crimes and aid them. There was time, sorry to make this reference, but there was time when Danjuma made it very clear that, and I believed him, and he said that if you are depending on the armed forces to fight insurgency in Nigeria, you are wasting your time, because they aid them, they support them, they show them the path, they defend them, they protect them. And so, except people, in communities begin to defend themselves, that is the only option we have right now, defend ourselves wherever we are. Because the Buhari dictatorship has shown that it is not interested in fighting any form of... By the way, the regime is not supposed to be in existence at this time, because the constitution is very clear under section 14B. The primary objective or primary purpose of any government in Nigeria at every level is to protect the lives and properties of the people. And when that cannot be achieved, government has failed. And this is very clear.